Hey Procraftinators! Today I am sharing the third inspiration card that I have using the Create and Inkspire July card kit. And today I'm going to be doing some Copic coloring on some pearlized cardstock from Craft Perfect. If I could talk today, that would be awesome. Anyway, so I'm stamping a couple of the flowers from the Wildflowers stamp set that is included in the kit. And I'm stamping that in Gina K Amalgam ink because, like I said, I'm going to be doing some Copic coloring. So we're going to switch over to the coloring camera, and I'm sharing my combination up on the screen for you. And there we go. I was going to say, sorry about the lighting there. I did forget to move my lights for the coloring, but we've got that straightened out now. So I'm going to, as always, going to start with my darkest color because that's how I like to Copic color. And we're just going to be putting that in the shadow areas. And that is the R59. And then we'll be moving on to the R29, and I'm going to be doing a 4-color combination for this red flower. So I'm moving on, like I said, to the R29, and then I'm just going to be pulling that out. So I did think it would be fun to color on this pearlized paper to give them a nice pearlized shine without having to use a shimmer pen or a shimmer spray or anything like that. They would already be shimmery from that pearlized cardstock. So I thought that would be fun to try. Now this isn't going to blend quite as nicely as it is on Nina, but I actually didn't have too much problem. It was just the lightest color I did have a little bit of issue blending that out, but in the end I did get it to blend. I just had to work at it a little bit harder. And that lightest color is going to be an R32 that I'm blending from the R24. So I did have a little bit of difficulty with that. Other than that, everything else blended pretty smoothly. So yeah, I have been having a lot of fun working with this kit. I love flowers. I think we've established that already. If you've been watching my channel any length of time, you know that I do like to color flowers. I do find them easier to color than other images, but I do enjoy the flowers. These were hand drawn by Courtney herself, Courtney Creeper. If you're not familiar with her channel, you should definitely go check her out. She is an amazing Copic colorist. I can't say that I'm there yet, but I think I do all right. So that is the last color. As you can see, I'm just going over those areas a little bit more just to get them to blend out. And now we're going to be moving on to a yellow combination, a Y17, a Y08, and Y02. And again, I'm just starting in my darkest areas, and right there I made a mistake. I got a little ahead of myself and didn't realize that that petal was, even though I've colored this before, didn't think about that petal being curled up, but I will fix that. Nobody's going to really, be critiquing your petals that closely. And as I've said before, if they are, then maybe they don't deserve your cards, or maybe they need to be slapped. So I'm just going to blend that out with my medium color, and it's just going to go away. So it's not that big of a deal. I probably should have come back in and added a little bit more of my darkest color in that shadowed area because I blended it out, but I forgot. So again, not that big of a deal. Nobody's going to be critiquing your coloring that closely. And if they are, then yeah, they shouldn't be. So again, I did come back in with my darkest color and put it in a few more areas. I did miss that spot that I had blended out, but it's not that big of a deal. So I'm just going to come back in here with my lightest color. Well, not come back. I'm coming in with my lightest color now and blending out the last little bit that I have here. And that will finish up the petals for this yellow flower. Sorry if you can hear my cat in the background. She's being a little obnoxious today. But that's all right. Her world is a little messed up because my husband is in my craft room and doing some things, and she is very confused on why he's down there and I am not. So she's being a little obnoxious, but that's all right. We're just going to continue on here. So I am using my favorite purple combination of E57, V17, and V15. We've discussed this before, that this is my favorite purple combination at the moment. and that is what I'm using. So I'm just going to put that down in the shadowed areas where one petal goes over another as well. And then we're going to come in with the V17 and go right over that and extend it out just a little bit further. And that'll kind of make it look like I used more colors than I did. And then we will come back, and then we'll come in with the V15 and finish that off. So I did think that it was fun to color on the pearlized cardstock. I thought I would have more blending issues than I did, and I actually didn't. So if you have not tried coloring on pearlized cardstock, I highly suggest that you give it a try. This pearlized cardstock was included in the kit. So if you get this kit, I highly suggest that you give it a try. If you don't have the kit and you have pearlized cardstock, obviously give it a try as well. The cardstock from Tonic is amazing. I love it. I have a bunch of it from getting Tonic craft kits in the past, so I probably even have this this color as well. I know I have several colors. I'm not sure what all I have. I am a paper hoarder, so I have quite a bit of it. I have been trying to be better about using it more, but you know, as crafters and hoarding paper, I'm sure I'm not the only one that hoards the pretty papers. My husband likes to tease me about it, but it is what it is. I'm sure he hoards his own things that, you know, he doesn't want to admit. So now we are moving on to the stems and the leaves. I used a YG67, YG17, and YG03. I'm just going to lay that down where I think the shadows should be. I'm definitely not a professional at this, but I just kind of guess and make it look good, or at least what I think looks good. Then we're just going to blend this out. I'm only showing this one flower for the stems and the leaves. I colored everything else pretty much in the same manner, even though they're not all the same stems and leaves. So then I pulled out some of my Novo crackle mousse in the ivory something or other. Ivory Coast. There we go. I'm almost out of this one. It's just a little tiny pot that I got from a Tonic craft kit. So this is not included in the Create and Inkspire Kit. This is something that I had in my own stash. And then I'm using a Colorful Life Designs Diamond Fade Stencil. Again, something that I got from my own personal stash. And I'm just going to spread this through the stencil and get it as evenly as possible and through all those little tiny holes. I did put some pixie spray on this. My stencil seems to be a little bit warped, so I did tape it down on the back in a couple little spots just at the top and the bottom, just to get it to lay flat. And then I'm just going to spread it through here. And when you get done, you want to make sure that you wash off your stencil and your tools as quickly as possible. I don't really worry so much about the glass mat. Even if it dries on the glass mat, it will come off just fine. I haven't found anything that doesn't come off this mat with either a little bit of water or some rubbing alcohol. I love my glass mat. It scratches a little easily, but other than that, I love it. So I'm just going to put some saran wrap over my little pot there. I find that it keeps everything from drying out. And then we're going to move on to the stamping. So I used, I didn't seem to write that down there. I used a small diamond from the Honeybee double stitched diamond set. I do believe that this is a retired die set, so sorry about that. And then I'm using one of the sentiments from the Wildflowers sentiment stamp set, and that is part of the Create and Inkspire kit. And then I'm just going to heat emboss this with some Ranger Gold embossing powder. And I do heat set that off screen. And the paper that I did that out of is some of the Craft Perfect Satin Black Velvet. So after my crackle mousse dried, and I did put the crackle mousse on on some of the Craft Perfect watercolor paper that was included in the Create and Inkspire kit. I don't think I said that earlier. So after it dried, I decided to pull out some of the shimmer powder that was included in the kit. It is the Sunray Cross Set. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, but anyway, it was included in the kit, and so I decided to sprinkle that in the little crevices of my stenciled area. And I'm doing it pretty liberally. I wanted to try to get, I mean, because some of the yellow is not really going to show up a whole lot in between those, you know, because it's pretty much the same color as the ivory. But I wanted to get a lot of that red that's popping through in the Novo shimmer powder. I wanted to get some of that red color that's in the shimmer powder. So I wanted to apply it pretty liberally to get some of the red and get the yellow to mix with the red and get some orange. And so I wanted those little colors to pop through. So I'm applying it pretty liberally, as you can see here. And then just spreading it around with my brush just to get it spread out and get those little pops of color. So that's what I'm doing there. And I didn't apply a ton of water, just enough to get it, you know, getting it to move around. If I can talk, that would be awesome. Anyway, so just to get it to move around and get those little pops of color in between the stenciled areas. And then I did heat set it a little bit. You don't want to go crazy town because, you know, I don't want to mess up the areas that I'd stenciled with the crackle mousse. So then I applied some Scor tape on the back, and my little trick with Scor tape, because this, you know, this thing is warped. My little trick with Scor tape is just to pull the little corners off, get it lined up, press it down, and then pull the little tabs that I've got sticking out the end there. That way, if I did get it on crooked, I only have to remove the little parts that are that I had removed the tape from, and not a whole piece of Scor tape, which is, as we all know, Scor tape is really sticky. So I did cut some extra diamonds, one in that ivory sheen, and then another one in the in that black, the satin black, or black velvet in the satin finish. And I did, as you could see, I marked some little lines on the back of that ivory sheen one, because I had off screen lined it up exactly where I wanted it. And I guess I cut two out of the black, I lie. But anyway, I lined it up exactly where I wanted it. So I wanted to make sure that I had everything even. And I know a lot of people eyeball things, and if that's your thing, go ahead. But I just didn't want to eyeball it. I had measured it and lined it all up, and I didn't want you guys to have to watch all that. So now I'm just going to apply some foam tape to the back of this and pop it up. And you're not going to have to watch all that. And then we're just going to attach it to the front of my card. And then I will grab my sentiment, I believe, next. I don't know, maybe I grab the flowers. I don't remember. We'll see. Let's see what I do next. It'll be a surprise. Oh, I grabbed the flowers. All right, so I did also arrange my flowers, and I put a little bit of Post-it tape on the front of them so they all stuck together. And then we're just going to glue those straight down to that diamond geometric shape that I've got going on there. And the Post-it note tape is obviously going to hold them exactly how I wanted them while we glue this down. So you guys didn't have to watch me fidget with that, because it took me a little while to figure out exactly how I wanted this to go. And then we'll just remove the Post-it note tape there. And there we go. It's exactly how I wanted it. And there were a couple leaves that were in front of other leaves and stuff, so I'm just going to glue those down too. And then now I put some more foam tape on the back of my sentiment here that we heat embossed earlier. And I'm just going to pop that down. And then I realized after this that I forgot to do the inside of my card before I popped all this stuff up. So we're going to do the inside, and I just had to have that hanging out of my stamp platform. No biggie. And so I'm just going to use one of the flowers from the Wildflower stamp set and one of the sentiments from the Wildflower sentiment stamp set. And we're going to stamp that in VersaFine Clair. And that pretty much finishes the card. And so we'll just give you a final look here. And don't forget, you can get your card kit at createandinkspire.com. I will have the link for that below. And all the supplies and more pictures will be at my blog, and I will have the link for that below as well. And as always, have a great day.